Welcome to r/Silver Crow Iazula. I'm Silver Crow, your curious guide, and I'm really looking forward to exploring some pretty fascinating and maybe surprising stuff with you today.
And I'm Azula Crow. I'm here to help connect the dots, maybe add some deeper insights.
Today, we're kind of on a mission, really. We want to prove that even, well, seemingly trivial things can hold some pretty profound philosophical truths.
Yeah, it sounds a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It does.
Mhm.
We're taking the simplest, most repetitive source material you can imagine. Think idle clicker games, think satirical roguelites, and we're going to try and understand why we're so compulsively drawn to games designed, sometimes intentionally, to be meaningless.
It really is a paradox. I mean, why spend time analyzing games like Cow-Clicker or, the big one right now, Balatro, talking about them like they're deep philosophy?
Right.
But the answer, I think, is because these games strip away all the complex narrative stuff, and what's left? Well, what's left tells us a lot about fundamental human desires.
Like what?
Like that compulsion for numbers to go up, or the search for comfort in just simple repetition, and maybe even the basic drive we all have to be, effective problem solvers.
Okay, I see where you're going. And we've got a great stack of sources to guide this deep dive for you listening. We're pulling together stuff from Reddit discussions, some really insightful lyrics, and the core ideas about game design from thinkers like Frank Lance.
It's definitely a journey. Starts with clicking a digital cow, which sounds absurd.
Totally absurd.
And it ends up potentially in a strategic analysis of your own life. It's quite a leap.
So let's kick things off. The ultimate case study in intentional meaninglessness has to be Cow-Clicker, designed by Ian Bogost. Basically as a joke, right? A deliberate piece of satire.
Oh, absolutely deliberate. And he had a very specific target in mind.
Which was?
Those social network games that were huge back then. Think Farmville. Bogost openly called them Skinner boxes.
Skinner boxes, like psychological conditioning.
Exactly. Press a button, get a little reward. But wrapped up in, well, what he saw as predatory attention harvesting. And data collection, too.
People were really fed up with that model back then, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. There was real frustration in the game dev community. We found sources talking about the 2009 Game Developers Conference Choice Awards. A manager from Farmville got up to speak and got booed right off the stage. Someone apparently yelled out, "But you don't make games." The feeling was that these metric-driven things weren't, art.
So Bogost creates Cow-Clicker to expose how shallow it all is.
Yeah.
You click a cow, you wait 6 hours. You click it again, that's it.
That's the core loop. Simple. Tedious.
But here's the twist. The satire kind of failed because it was too successful.
Precisely. He wanted to make this awful, boring, greedy time suck to critique other awful, boring, greedy time sucks, but people actually loved it. They played it a lot.
They embraced the very thing he was mocking.
It was, a beautiful kind of failure. He even tried to kill it with this cowpocalypse event, literally removed the cows from the game.
And people stopped clicking.
Who? They kept clicking. On the empty space where the cows used to be, the ritual just persisted, even without the object.
Wow. So Bogost must have been scratching his head for years over that.
He really wrestled with it, thought it failed as critique because it ended up being enjoyed for, the reasons it was supposed to be bad.
But then, much later, in 2022, he had this epiphany involving actual cows.
Get this, yeah. Cow hugging therapy. I had to double check that in the source, but yes.
Cow hugging therapy, okay.
And he had this realization, maybe the game wasn't a failed satire. Maybe it offered something else entirely, like genuine, low-stakes therapeutic comfort.
Virtual cow clicking is virtual cow hugging. That sounds maybe like a bit of a stretch, a way to rationalize it after the fact.
Well, maybe. You could see it that way. But it does represent a really interesting shift in his thinking. He started thinking it wasn't just about the click.
What else then?
It was about players building these sort of silent relations with each other within the game's community, however loose it was.
Ah, so a connection, but without the pressure.
Exactly.
Oh.
A way to escape the, quote, fatigue of inauthentic engagement that you often get on social media, where everything feels like performance.
So the meaningless grind became soothing, a quiet digital space.
Yeah, a place to just be alongside others without needing to constantly perform or impress. The nihilism became the comfort.
Okay, that makes a certain kind of sense. If the community and satire weren't the only hooks, maybe it was just the pure, isolated grind itself, the sheer growth.
Which leads us right into the number go up phenomenon, doesn't it? Stripped bare of even Bogost's satirical intent, like Cookie Clicker.
Right, Cookie Clicker. That game feels like it takes the cow clicker idea and just distills it, removes any pretense.
It's pure abstract growth, almost like capitalism in its most basic infinite form. Click, produce, upgrade, produce more, forever.
And the sources point out that dark little irony where often the final upgrade is just you.
Yeah, symbolizing your complete absorption into the machine. You become the engine of production. It's kind of bleak, actually.
Which brings us right up to date to the latest viral hit that taps into this same urge, Balatro.
Absolutely. Balatro is fascinating because the developer explicitly said he didn't have any deep theme in mind.
Yeah.
It was all about the mechanics, the fun factor, the emergence.
But it blew up. Why?
Because it perfectly, maybe accidentally, nails that deep human desire for number go up. It's incredibly addictive.
And the numbers aren't just going up linearly, are they? It's exponential.
Oh, totally. You can end up with scores in the quadrillions, the quintillions. It escalates wildly in a single run, which feels amazing.
Okay, so to analyze this compulsion, we found a really useful tool, surprisingly, in a song, the Stupendium's Number Go Up track.
Yeah, it's brilliant, like how people analyze the structure of the Tetris theme to understand its hypnotic quality. This song really unpacks the feeling of watching numbers climb.
The chorus nails it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're ever in the dumps or feeling stuck in a rut, you simply haven't had the fun of watching number go up, when you could add another one and make the number go up.
It captures that feeling of relief, of control perfectly. The song works because it taps into something real about, well, our current situation. It's like if your real numbers, your salary, your savings, whatever, aren't going up, at least here in this little contained world, you can make the numbers go up. Consistently, it provides that satisfaction.
But the song is cleverer than just that, right?
Yeah.
It acknowledges the flip side.
Oh, yeah. It's totally self-aware. It points out the ultimate meaninglessness of chasing these huge virtual scores. Ends with that line. The biggest of figures won't impress the digger when picking your hole in the ground.
Oof. Dark.
But true, right. It's a sharp reminder that death is the great equalizer. Those quadrillions mean nothing in the end.
We should pause here, though, because critics will jump in and say, hang on, Balatro isn't just a dumb clicker, it's complex. It's a sophisticated, balanced roguelite. Is it fair to just call it a dopamine rush?
That's a really important distinction to make. We have to separate the mechanical complexity, how the game actually plays, the strategy, the systems, from the thematic meaning, what it expresses about us, the players.
Okay, explain that difference.
Well, think about other games heavy on number go up, like, say, Diablo or Path of Exile, big action RPGs.
Right, loot grinds, getting stronger gear, higher stats.
Exactly. But in those games, that growth is framed within a specific narrative. It's a power fantasy. You're becoming a mighty hero, a god slayer.
You're building a story around your increasing strength.
Precisely. Balatro, though, its framing is different. It uses poker, gambling.
So the context changes the meaning of the numbers going up.
Right. It forces us to interpret that abstract growth compulsion through a lens of, well, risk, chance, wealth accumulation. It's not about slaying demons, it's about breaking the bank, hitting the jackpot.
That makes sense. It puts the focus on chance and leverage, not mythic power.
Yeah,
The context really does shift the meaning you pull from it.
definitely.
Okay, let's shift gears now. Let's move away from specific games and look at the bigger picture, the philosophy behind games themselves. We need to talk about Frank Lance.
Yes, Frank Lance, a really influential game designer and thinker. He argues games aren't just, toys or entertainment products.
What are they then?
He sees them as fundamental cultural and aesthetic forms, like literature or painting or music. They have that kind of depth and significance.
So what's the core thing games do, according to Lance?
His big idea is that games are the art form of thinking and doing. They make visible something that's usually invisible because we're always inside it.
Which is?
That basic human drive to be a problem-solving agent, to pursue goals, overcome obstacles. We're always doing it so we don't notice it. Games create these stylized, contained worlds where we can see that drive in action, practice it, fail, learn, iterate.
And what makes a game truly great in his view? He talks about elegance, right?
Yes, elegance is key. An elegant game has a small set of simple, clear rules
that generate a massive, almost exponentially large space of possibilities and consequences.
Exactly. And designers often feel like they discover these elegant properties rather than inventing them. They emerge from the system.
Like even tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, even tic-tac-toe. Adults solve it quickly, sure, but watch kids play. They get mesmerized by the patterns, the possibilities emerging from those simple rules.
And for more complex games, like chess or Go, Lance says we're basically mining for meaning.
That's his phrase. Communities commit, sometimes for centuries, to playing these games, exploring their depths, excavating meaning and beauty. It's like we collectively decide which games are worth this long-term attention.
We vote with our feet, essentially.
Pretty much. We keep playing the ones that keep yielding insights.
Okay, so if games are this fundamental art form of thinking and doing, how does that apply outside of, actual games?
Well, Lance argues this game lens is incredibly useful for understanding everyday life. Once you look for them, you see game-like structures everywhere.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, think about trying to maximize your airline rewards points. That's a system with rules, goals, strategies. Or navigating a tricky business meeting, reading the room, deciding when to speak, managing perceptions. That's a strategic game.
Even just talking to people.
Yeah, even basic conversation. The sociologist Irving Goffman talked about face work, this constant, collaborative, subtle game we play to maintain our own status and help others maintain theirs. It's all structured interaction towards goals.
So, seeing the world this way,
Hmm.
what does it teach us? What wisdom can we get from games, collectively or individually?
Collectively, games have given us huge tools. Think about probability theory. It largely developed from people trying to understand and win at card games.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And game theory itself, which started in economics and military strategy, now influences everything from politics to biology to even theories of consciousness. It's a powerful analytical framework born from studying games.
And what about for us as individuals?
Individually, games are amazing teachers of self-awareness. Lance uses poker as a prime example. To get really good at poker, you have to achieve what the Greeks called arete excellence, reaching your full potential within that system.
How does poker teach that?
Because it forces you to confront your ego. You have to learn to detach, to stop thinking of the cards you're dealt as yours. They're just information. Your ego wants to feel control, wants to feel smart, wants to blame bad luck.
But good strategy requires.
Good strategy requires accepting randomness, understanding the system's limits, and focusing ruthlessly on making the mathematically optimal decision based on expected value, regardless of how you feel. Letting go of the ego is crucial.
That sounds incredibly hard, but the wisdom is learning when to let go, when to push, based on the system, not just gut feeling.
Exactly. And that kind of wisdom achieving arete in a game often translates directly into wisdom in life and navigating other complex systems.
Okay, this leads to maybe the most critical question for anyone listening. If life has all these game-like structures, how do we choose which game is worth playing, worth mastering?
This is where Lance offers a really profound insight. He says the world often looks fixed, solid, permanent, like the rules are just there.
But they're not.
No. They're open to reinterpretation. Why? Because, and this is the key quote, some person, just as flawed as us, made up all the rules.
Wow, okay. So we have agency, not just to play the game better, but to actually change the game itself.
That's the real cheat code, if you like. We get stuck thinking the current system, a career path, a social norm, whatever is the only way. Lance says, no, the path to real greatness often comes from recognizing the flaws in the existing game and designing a better one.
How do you do that?
Through relentless iteration, rapid iteration and play testing, as he puts it, trying things, seeing what works, adjusting, and combining that with real ambition, swinging for the fences.
He uses the example of James Naismith, right? Inventing basketball.
Yeah, a global multi-billion-dollar sport invented basically in an afternoon because Naismith saw the problems with existing indoor games and just designed a new one with better rules.
Yeah.
That's game selection and game design in action.
So at the end of the day, the real wisdom isn't just being good at a game, but choosing the right game to play.
Exactly. It requires serious self-analysis. You have to ask, is this game I'm playing, whether it's Balatro for fun or optimizing my career or managing my health, actually worth mastering? Does it align with my deeper values?
Or is it just providing needed comfort, like Bogost's clicking cows eventually seem to do?
Yeah.
Just escapism.
Right, and making that distinction, aligning your choices, your games, with deeper values that aren't themselves part of the system, that's crucial. Your values have to come from outside the game you're playing.
If your value is growth, maybe the infinite clicker makes sense. If it's community, maybe you choose a cooperative game.
But you have to consciously choose, and that choice, that alignment, is where the real meaning is found.
What a journey. We've gone from Bogo's accidental cow philosophy, all the way to Lance's really high-stakes strategic view of life itself.
And through it all, we see this fundamental human thing, right? This compulsion for growth, for comfort, this constant search for meaning, even when we deliberately try to create something meaningless.
It really highlights that idea you mentioned, echoing existentialism. We're sort of condemned to meaning.
Yeah, Bogos seem to land there eventually. You can run from structure, maybe, but you can't really escape finding or making meaning in it.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought to chew on. A provocative question, maybe.
Go for it.
What structure or pattern in your own life could be anything? Maximizing credit card points, your career path, how you interact in a specific relationship. What might be a game that you're playing, maybe without even fully realizing it.
And the follow-up question.
And knowing what you know now about strategy, about Aride, about choosing your games, is it the right one for you to be playing?
Something to think about, maybe, the next time you see that number go up.
Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. If you enjoyed this exploration, please do take a second to like this segment, maybe share it with someone else. You know the drill. And definitely hit that subscribe button.
And for more discussions, more explorations like this one, make sure you are subscribed to the Silver Crow and Azula Reddit Stories Retold YouTube channel. Your support really does help us keep making this kind of content for you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Until next time.